Welcome to City Talk, a weekly conversation produced by the City of Waco to inform you about city events and projects. Each week, we'll bring you interesting topics with city staff and community leaders to highlight how Waco is an exciting place to live and work.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Talk. I'm your host, Kelly Craine, your guest host for today, and I have a special guest with me, Afia Williams. Afia, you're with the Health Education Department here at the Waco McLennan County Public Health District. Tell us a little bit about what your job is.
Definitely. So, yes, I'm Afia Williams. I'm a health educator at the Waco McLennan County Public Health District. I'm also a second-year grad student at Baylor University for public health.
And we're so excited you're here today because we're talking about a very unique program that came out of the Health Education Department that you were very involved in, really intricately in building this program. And it's called the Vaccination Ambassador Program. Let's just get into it. Tell us, what is a vaccine ambassador?
Yeah, definitely. So the Vaccine Ambassador Program was created because there was low vaccination rates in the county. And so we were trying to have a volunteer-based program, having everyday people, you and I, that would be educated about vaccine and COVID information so that they can have a conversation like we're having right now and just be able to relay reliable, up-to-date, and credible information. And so in the program, we basically walk people through virtual training, give them all the latest information, and then we do continuous updates.
And it's such a great program when it started, thinking about it, because working as a PIO, I get a lot of chance to hear what other people are thinking, and we have a core group of people within McLennan County that are motivated to get other people vaccinated, are motivated to end this pandemic and recognize vaccines are the most important part. Then I have another group that I see all the time that could be split into different segments. And there's the never evers, never going to do it, never going to get any shot for a lot of reasons. One of them is I don't like needles, just never going to do it. And then we have people that are on the fence that have questions but don't know where to turn, don't want to talk to people that are anti-vaxxers, never evers, because don't want to necessarily, that's not their reason, but are afraid to ask other people because they just want answers. They don't want judgment. They just want answers to certain questions.
Yeah, definitely. So we are kind of looking at this on a spectrum. So you have people that are hesitant. You have people in the middle who are kind of taking the wait and see approach. They want just some time to pass. I know people were really concerned about the vaccine side effects and how it may affect them. The truth is, vaccines affect everyone differently, and so I understand everyone. We're looking at this on a continuum, totally. People that are going to be early adopters, fully accepted, no questions asked. And then the people that we may never reach. But I think it's still helpful to provide correct information.
Correct information, even to justify why you received a vaccine. And what is interesting, but tell us, before I get ahead of myself, because this is such a great program, and I'm so excited about what you've done and what your team has created. Tell us about how the program works. So to become a vaccine ambassador, what does that involve?
Yeah, so that looks like basically we have an application that you fill out, and I can provide you all the contact information, but you can email us if you just want information about it. But you apply, we receive your application. We, of course, give you more information about the program. And like I said earlier, there is a training that takes place over Zoom, and we give you all of that information. Only thing, ambassadors must be 18 years old, and we have kind of two tracks that we're taking right now. So if you want to be a formalized City of Waco vaccine ambassador, you can apply for that. Or you can have the approach of you just are a person who just wants the information. That way you can talk to people, but you don't necessarily want to be involved in extreme outreach. Or if you just know a group of people at your job, at your church that want to learn more about COVID vaccines, we will happily provide the training as well.
And how long does the training take?
45 minutes roughly.
So this is not like, it's an 8-week course.
It's not exhaustive at all. And because we're learning new things about COVID, all the time, it's constantly updating. We try to keep it fresh and keep it short because we're going to send you emails. We'll give you the latest information as it becomes available to us.
So it's such a resource for people. And one thing that I found interesting, you said you can do it as a group. Mm-hmm. So that means this could be a lunch and learn for your company. This could be, a special group for your Sunday school class.
Definitely. We've had requests, just people that are like, hey, like at my job, we just wanted to learn more about it, because there were people, they were considering hosting a vaccine clinic, but people wanted just to have the information first, and that was understandable. So yeah, just a few people, I think 12 people out of an office, that during their lunch break, we provided the just information. I don't even want to call it training. It's really us just providing you the most up-to-date information that we have about COVID and the vaccines.
And so we talked about the groups, but what if I'm just a person listening to this radio program and I want to be involved? I don't know of anyone else I just want to learn for me.
Yeah, so I can give you my information. So vaccine reps, which is like vaccine, and then reps, REPS, at wacotx.gov is the best way to contact us. If you send us an email, I personally will respond to you.
Will have a via response.
I personally will respond to you the same day, pretty much. Monday through Friday, you can get a response from me. And I can definitely provide you information on how to get involved. I will give you a call to talk about it with you personally. There's so many avenues. I do the training. So yeah, there's really we want people to have this information. We don't want to put any restrictions on it. So definitely, if you're just an individual or it's just you and your friend who want to learn more about it, feel free to contact us at any time.
And that's the great thing, is that, yes, this is for groups, but this is really about individuals, because that's how we're going to change people and reach people, is not through us being the official health district or an entity that people may not be interested in listening to.
Definitely.
But your friend, your neighbor, your family, that person you trust, you're going to listen to them. You're going to at least pay attention to what they have to say, as opposed to a stranger.
Certainly. I think people have definitely gotten a bit fatigued from hearing from the public health officials and hearing from, the government, like hearing from these higher offices. I think it's a lot more digestible to hear it from just another person instead of having to watch it on the news.
Yeah. So, let's talk about it, because I've had an opportunity to see the training and read it and see how it changes. And there's a lot of passion involved with people that have been vaccinated, which is wonderful. And they want other people to vaccinate. And they don't understand, why is this person not getting vaccinated? Why are they not doing it? And their approach is very aggressive. There's times when I'm guilty of it too, because I'm so frustrated. I'm like, no, this is going to change you. This is going to make you better. That's not necessarily the best approach. Being aggressive, telling someone this is the right way. If you don't do it, you're wrong. What are those ways to reach people? How do you talk to someone who and determine where they are on the spectrum of getting a vaccine or not?
Yeah, definitely. I always think that listening is the key in all of this. First, when someone is coming, or if you're having a conversation with someone and you can tell that they are possibly leaning towards not getting the vaccine, you really just want to find out what their true concerns are about it. I know some people who they didn't want to get vaccinated just because they don't like getting shots, and so,
which, by the way, is the most honest response. Exactly. I think if they said, "Look, I don't like shots," to me, that's you are being completely honest. You're not making anything up. You're just saying it's a needle, and I don't like needles. That's very honest.
It's honest, and it's honest. It's valid as well. I think when you have these conversations with people, it's important you want to validate them a bit, because people have real concerns. And I think with everything that's been going on, the past 18 months, it's understandable for there to be for people to be nervous. So I always think approaching people with compassion is going to be important. Also, just being supportive of them in their choice. For me, if I encounter someone who is sure that they definitely don't want to get vaccinated, like I said, I'll still give you all the information I know, and I will just encourage you to continue following just like those safety preventative measures that we've been doing, wearing your mask, washing your hands often, cleaning, frequently touch surfaces, all of those things. I will just impart you with that, if nothing else. But I think this is definitely not something you want to be aggressive about. You don't want to force it on them. You have to let people come to their own conclusions at the end of the day. But I think being an ear, being someone that's there to support them, because people can change their mind. They can learn something new and turn the corner. So stay open-minded and just be helpful as much as you can.
And, when you talk about that spectrum, I've known organizations that have done surveys, and they said it broke up into quarters of I'm vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated. And then the second quarter was, I'm not fully vaccinated yet. Just don't have time. Okay, so that's good. That's like 50% because that group, just make sure you get them vaccinated. They're almost there. So make sure in the 21 to 28 days they go back and get vaccinated. Then there's the group of never evers. Okay. And then you have a group of, well, I want to talk to my doctor.
Right.
That's a good group to focus at because they're there and they have questions and they're willing to ask questions with someone they trust. So in my mind, focusing on that group is going to make a huge difference. And then if you look at the total pie, well, you've got half that are going to happen, and then you've got another quarter. So you've got the majority there. You just focusing on that group that I just have questions. And maybe they're silly, maybe they're not, but they're my questions.
Honestly, and I don't think there are any silly questions. I think the newness of this makes questions all very valid. I think people, like I said, I think people are really concerned, even if they're like, we feel like they're minute things. It could be a big thing to them, and that could help just having the information or having the answer to that question. They could be like, okay, sign me up. I'm ready to go get registered for vaccination. So, yeah.
Someone has politely and respectfully answered my questions.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely think focusing on that group that is just like, hey, I just want to know this and this.
Yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
important.
Well, if you are just joining us right now, I'm Kelly Craine, guest hosting with Afia Williams, and she is a health educator with the Waco-McLennan County Public Health District and a Baylor grad student in public health. And we're so glad that we have that partnership. And we're talking about vaccine ambassadors and how you talk to someone who's not sure about the vaccine. And we've been in that process, and we talked about how you reach them and that respectfulness and that listening. Another thing I think about is timing. One conversation may not be the thing that gets them to get vaccinated. I know with a lot of people that I started talking with them in December before the vaccine was even out, knowing that they really needed this vaccine for whatever reason, because of their job, because of their health situation, and really work through that process. So talk to your doctor. There's 3 different vaccines. Talk to your doctor about what you feel is the best one. And they all had different concerns because of their health. You know, whether it was an allergy to certain medications, how would it interact, because they had multiple conditions. But that's a conversation that can take months, unfortunately, or fortunately, take time. Don't think this is not another notch on your vaccine belt. This needs to be a true heartfelt conversation that may take time.
Definitely. And I understand that. I feel like if it no matter how much time it takes you, I think drawing that conclusion for yourself is going to be the most important thing. I feel like a lot of people feel pressured right now, either from their jobs, from their family even. And I think it's important to do your own research and draw your own conclusion at the end of the day, for sure.
Absolutely. And, you know, what we always push, and what I know I always hear you saying is, talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. I mean, this is a person that you work with on your health. You know, if you're the coach of the football team, this is your quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
And so work with them on what is not only getting vaccinated, but what would be the right vaccine for you, not only health-wise, but for your lifestyle. You know, we have, when you talk to our immunization clinic coordinators, a lot of them will say, a lot of people just want Johnson & Johnson because they're busy, one and done. And they're like, that's what I want. Others are like, well, no, I feel like I should have Pfizer or I should have Moderna. So your doctor is that best resource for you.
Certainly. And I think for people who may be immunocompromised, or if you have diabetes, if you have cancer, people who may be pregnant, I think those are the groups that we definitely see have the most questions and want to engage their doctor, which I think is the most appropriate route to go, because they have better information. And like you said, they work with you, they know your health status, and so they can help you make a more informed choice at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So kind of going back to the vaccine ambassadors, they've gone through a 45-minute training, very short training. It's a lunch and learn, or maybe it's a couple friends learning about this because they're ready, they're motivated. Now let's talk about, for those that are, I guess, officially City of Waco volunteers now, they've gone through that process. What is the commitment for them? What is there an expectation? What are they signing up for?
Right. So when you're signing up, you're not going to have to talk to us every single day. This is something that we really want people to kind of take the initiative. Of course, we're going to give you tools and resources, but we want you to take the initiative. If you have had conversations with someone and you're like, hey, I think it would be great for us to host a vaccine clinic here, or hey, I need 10 iPads or something so that I can help people register for vaccine appointments. We want you to kind of take the onus and really do community outreach. And so that's kind of what you're signing up for. So the time commitment is not steep. It's really, you can put as much time into it as you want, but we kind of ask that people do possibly a 30, 60, or 90-day commitment. And basically with this, you are doing various tasks. You can organize your own info sessions with people. So after you've learned from us, we will give you that resource so that you can impart it on others. But it's not a major time commitment. You're not going to have to miss work for this. This is not something that you're going to have to take not a lot of time out of your week, but definitely you can plan around your schedule. We want it to be flexible. We don't want it to feel like you are or like another job for you, but it is a job in that it's just you're taking the responsibility of sharing with other people and engaging your community.
Yeah, and it gives you some structure. And I think having you and the entire education department as a resource, or as like, I'm ready to help people. I'm ready to go out and do things and make a difference. Having the health education department as a resource and saying, okay, well, here's some ideas is important. So that is the benefit of becoming a City of Waco volunteer.
Definitely.
And, if that's not something that you're interested in, there's the other avenue on that. And that's no time commitment. That's a 45-minute time commitment, and that's it.
Yeah, definitely. So like I said, we're kind of doing two options, right? Being like a City of Waco official volunteer. And then if you just want to learn the information, there's no strings attached to it. There's no cost to any of this. Like, this is free information. We just want people to have accurate information that's up to date. And so we're happy to provide it at any time. Definitely.
Absolutely. So that's what I like about this. This is truly giving people the tools, one, the knowledge to understand what's going on with COVID, true knowledge, not a conversation where, well, I heard this, well, I heard this, well, what about this? It's really focusing on that true education, focusing on the vaccines, the specific vaccines. Another thing that I saw about what I liked about the training, which was so important, was everyone talks about how vaccines are developed and approved. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You actually go through the process of how does it happen? Mm-hmm. This is a mysterious, a lot of people, no one's ever been cared about how FDA went through approval.
Ever.
Unless you were working in the world of vaccines, no one has ever cared. And I used to work in the vaccine program, and it was a long, tedious process that did not have to be long and tedious. It was, we meet 4 times a year, and you have to get on our agenda 2 years in advance. So, yeah, it was just too many barriers. Yeah. So explaining the whole process is, I think, really an essential part of that.
Definitely. And I think people enjoy that a lot because that was the first question. How was this vaccine developed so quickly? And I think that was like a big, siren to everyone. They were like, how did this come about? And yeah, in that training, we help you understand the clinical trials and how the clinical trials were actually overlapped so that the vaccine could be produced quickly. And they followed all the same protocols that they've always followed for every other vaccine. They just overlapped clinical trials so that we could have production faster for emergency use. So, yeah. You can learn a lot in this training, people.
In 45 minutes, I mean, you will be the smartest person in your friend group, and you will win Trivial Pursuit because,
honestly,
yes, for the next year, vaccines and vaccine production will be a part of our life, and you'll be, and that's just a simple thing that suddenly you become the resource for your friends.
Exactly.
Afia knows. Let's ask Afia. Yeah.
You wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I'm pretty much that person now. Everyone always asks me, and I'm always happy to tell them because people are curious. They want to know more. And the one thing I really want people to understand about COVID is that this is not something that's just going to poof and be gone. Like vaccination is pretty much our key at this point to turning the corner on the pandemic. It's kind of like the flu. Think about this like the flu, guys. Every year you have to get flu vaccines. There's still flu going around. COVID will be the same way.
Exactly. And, I also like to remind people, when was the last time you met someone who had smallpox?
Exactly. Eradicated.
Yeah. When was the last time you met someone who had polio? Almost eradicated. It takes
almost,
a lot of effort, but in North America, South America, it's essentially eradicated. So vaccines are successful. They're one of our number one most important public health measures, that and clean water. So this is something that we know works. We've seen it work again and again, and it can be successful for everything. We can eventually eradicate COVID because we have the technology. We just need the will.
Exactly.
We just need the will.
Yeah.
We need the will to do so. So in our remaining 5 minutes, let's go over just again real quickly, if someone is just tuning in, just a short synopsis. What is the Vaccine Ambassador Program?
Sure. So the Vaccine Ambassador Program was developed for everyday people like you and I. For listeners who are tuning into us right now, you can be a vaccine ambassador. Basically, we want to empower you to engage your circle of influence, people that you know, provide you with information about COVID-19, the different variants, the vaccines, so that you can be a resource to those around you. You can host outreach events yourself virtually, hopefully. And so it's totally free. There's no strings attached to it. We will provide you vaccine information that you can share with others. To sign up for it, you can contact us at vaccinereps@wacotx.gov. You'll get an email. You'll get a call, however you would like to be engaged in that aspect. But that's all. That's really what it is. It's not a big...
It's not a big time commitment. It's a 45-minute educational program that, again, gives you A to Z, soup to nuts, on how you can, one, the most asked questions, or the most asked barriers of, I don't want to do it because it's too fast, I don't like needles, I don't think I need it, I'm healthy. You have the ability, not only the answers for those questions and those statements, but the understanding and the tools of how to work with someone who isn't vaccinated.
Exactly. Yeah, we definitely want to help people put the information that we provide into practice. So basically, understanding their concerns, understanding why they may be hesitant, and being able to address those concerns in a way that is compassionate and caring, and just really we want to help to validate people no matter what they choose.
And it's think about it in this way, that you're talking with your friends and someone's going to say, well, I heard it on Facebook, or I heard it on Instagram, and you're going to go, well, I volunteer with the health district, and here's some information specific. I mean, really, because everyone, when they say, I hear it on Facebook or saw it on my Facebook, they immediately cringe and realize, what did I say? Oh, no. We all know that we need credible sources.
Yes. And I recommend, even if you don't want to hear from us, at least check cdc.gov for if you just need credible information. The misinformation that's going around, it's almost scary because it's scaring other people who really may be considering getting vaccinated, and we really want to curb that.
Absolutely. And so this is not where you are suddenly having to say, okay, well, I got 5 people vaccinated.
Right.
No,
definitely not. We are not going to be like tracking your activity to a T, like, hey, so this week, what did you get done? No, we want it to be something where people feel comfortable just engaging them, or engaging people that they know. And we want it to be something where, you volunteered, you felt like you wanted to make an impact in your community. And so the onus is on you.
This is a natural conversation that may take time.
Exactly.
It may take time.
Exactly.
It may not be one short conversation of, have you been vaccinated? Well, let me tell you why. It may be several conversations. It may take a couple months. Mm-hmm. That's okay. Whether they have the knowledge and understand and believe that they did it for the right reasons, as opposed to, well, I just got bullied to do it.
Exactly. I've heard people say that before, and I'm like, I definitely would not want to be approached in that way, or even just being sat down and feeling like you're definitely, you want to have, it needs to have a conversational tone at the end of the day. No one wants to be lectured about it. I think hearing about it so much in our everyday lives already can be overwhelming. And so you want to definitely be mindful of that when you have those conversations with people.
All right. Well, Afia, we have about 1:30 left. So in this last minute, what is the most important thing we can leave with people about getting vaccinated or the Vaccine Ambassador Program?
Definitely. So one thing about getting vaccinated, vaccination is going to be key to turning the corner on with this pandemic. If we want to eventually get to a point where we can return to doing the things that we love doing safely and without having to wear a mask all the time. I know people are getting fatigued with all of the safety precautions. However, they are really important. And I encourage people to do, even if you are vaccinated, we know now that you still should be wearing masks and following all of those precautions that you've been doing for the past 18 months. So I definitely want to leave you with that. Again, please feel free to reach out to us at COVIDwaco.com is a great resource there. We have a COVID hotline that you can call to get information. Vaccine reps at wacotx.gov is another resource. You will talk directly to me. You will talk to another health educator.
You're not going out into the ether.
Yeah, it's a real person.
Is the person you will talk to. And I think that is great. If they're listening to this right now, they're going to want to talk to you because
Definitely.
This is a great program. Afia, we're wrapping up right now, but I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. We've kept you busy all week long with all kinds of programs, but we appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you so much for your outreach. I want to thank everybody for listening in to City Talk today, and we will see you next week.
All right, thanks.
We hope you enjoyed City Talk, a production of the City of Waco. Catch this program on local radio stations on Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m. Find the podcast on your favorite podcast streaming service by searching City of Waco or view it online at wccc.tv.